Week 13 recap and rivalry recap. Week 14 um, preview and playoff picture. Um, and we'll go over some scenarios for playoffs, who gets in and how. Um, and then buys and cold plunge. So we have one more week left, week 14, the last week, and there's still a lot left to be decided. Let's start with the rivalry week. First up, we have Big Balls versus Caponi's B card. Big Balls 128, Caponi's B card 111. This win for Big Balls keeps his playoff hopes alive. Caponi's V card loss. Playoffs almost locked in for them. They need a lot to go wrong in week 14, but we are not considering them as a clinch team because crazier things have happened. Next up, Tasty Boys Club versus Cambodians, 131 to 126. This is a really tough loss for the Tasty Boys Club. Sunday night, I was in the car driving to play some basketball with the dog pound, and I was looking at the score, and I saw with like 5 minutes left in the 4 o'clock games, Cambodians were tied with the Tasty Boys Club at 114, and Tasty Boys Club was projected to win. In that 5 minutes, the Tasty Boys Club picked up 16 points from Chase McLaughlin and Lamar Jackson. Lamar had a late passing touchdown, got him about 6 points. Chase McLaughlin hit a 50-yarder to tie the game against the Panthers, and then won in overtime with I believe it was a 30-yarder. So that was an extra 4.5 and 2.5, 7 points plus what they got from Lamar gets them to 131, and the Tasty Boys Club dropped this one by 5. It was a tough. I think when I checked, it had the Tasty Boys Club at like a 90% chance to win, which would have solidified Fear the Choge as our cold plunge champion. But Fear the Choge lives another day. He has a little bit of life. Speaking of Fear the Choge, our next matchup, Hurley and Chuck Shear 157, Fear the Choge 113. This was our key matchup to watch. We all know the history. Hurley and Chuck Shear needed this one to clinch, and Fear the Choge need this one to not be the favorite for the cold plunge. It was a battle early. It was looking like these were going to be two top scoring teams. Fear the Choge fades at the end. Hurley and Chuck Shear, the motto coming out of HCY camp for this week was leave no doubt. Leave no doubt. And the team really bought in. And Hurley and Chuck Shear, King of the Week, leaving no doubt and birthing a playoff spot for this 2024 season. And looking healthy and looking good. Hurley and Chuck Shear, a team to be reckoned with in these playoffs. Next up, Elmwood Lawyer versus True Under Big Dog Story. Elmwood Lawyer 125, True Under Big Dog Story 79. Nice run from Elmwood Lawyer. He's won 3 straight. Was 3-7. Most other years, he'd be looking at week 14 as a legit win and end situation. Unfortunately, that's not how it's working out this year. They're not officially eliminated, but they need a miracle. Next up, the Goblins versus the Swamp Dicks. The Goblins steal one here. They were looking down and out, and they somehow scrape away and take this one 130 to 127. This was big for Bai. Both the Cambodians pulling out that win versus Tasty Boys Club and the Goblins pulling this out was big for Bai. There's looking like for a second there that the Swamp Dicks were going to run away with the bye. They have the most points scored by a large amount. Goblins still not out of the bye race. They do need to win this week, and they do need the Cambodians to lose. And on top of that, they need to outscore the Cambodians by about 20 points. So Cambodians pretty much all but have the bye locked up. Congratulations to them. Unless the Goblins can go off this week and the Cambodians flop. Next up, Catalina Wymixons versus the Dog Pound. This was a big game. Pretty much almost a win and in situation. Catalina Wymixons take this one 128 to 103. The Dog Pound has lost 3 straight or 4 straight. Let's see. I think they've lost. I think that this could be a situation where they've, kind of fumbled the bag a little bit. But we'll see. They still have a chance. They've lost 4 straight. The Dog Pound was 6-3, and have lost 4 straight to drop to 6-7. However, good luck for the Goblin, or good luck for the Dog Pound. The team that they need to beat is the team that they play this week in Big Balls. So still pretty much a win and end situation for the Dog Pound, which that is going to be. We'll get to our week 14 preview here in a second. But reminder to everybody, this was rivalry week, so if you won, collect your $20 from your rival. It lived up to the hype. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving and enjoyed the football and enjoyed the family. I know I did. Okay, let's go over scenarios for playoffs. So we have, although ESPN doesn't have it, official, I am making official. We have 5 teams that are clinched, and that is Cambodians, Goblins, Swamp Dicks, Hurling, Chuckcheer, Cali, and Wymixons. Now, there are still 4 teams that are fighting for the playoffs, the last 2 playoff spots. Capone's B card is looking very good. Elmwood Lawyer is looking very bad. And then the Dog Pound and Big Balls, it basically just comes down to their head-to-head matchup. So for Capone's B card, the route for them to win, obviously a win and they're in. Other way that they can get in is they just need to Capone's B card just needs to. All right. Oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Win and end for B card. For them to miss the playoffs, they would have to lose, and it would have to be and they'd have to basically be lowest scoring team, and the Big Balls Dog Pound matchup would have to be a barn burner, and Dog Pound would have to come away victorious. So, in the unlikely event that the Dog Pound and Big Balls, matchup is 140 to 130, and Capone's V card, and Dog Pound wins, and then Capone's V card loses and puts up 80, then it will be Big Balls Dog Pound gets in, Capone's V card, first one left out. So, I mean, crazier things have happened. We've all had those flop. We all have those weeks where we flop. If this is that week for Capone's V card where they just put up 80, and the Dog Pound and Big Balls are firing all cylinders and are putting up 120 plus each, which, to be honest, it's not the craziest. It's not the craziest thing. Now that I'm talking about it, we see it all the time. Then in that case, Capone's V card would be gone. For Big Balls is essentially just win and end. If they lose, they're essentially out unless Capone's V card loses and they outscore Capone's V card by, what is it? Unless they outscore Capone's V card by 40. So essentially, win and in for Big Balls, lose and out for Big Balls. Same goes for the Dog Pound. Now, Elmwood Lawyers' path is essentially they need to win and they need to be king of the week. They need to win and they need to put up about 150 plus. And then on top of that, they need a Dog Pound win, and they need that to be low scoring, to where it would have to be pretty significantly low scoring to where Elmwood Lawyer outscores the Dog Pound by 65, 70. So really need a miracle for Elmwood Lawyer, but you never know. If they can put up 180 this week, we've seen that before. Teams have done it before, but not very likely. So those are the situations for playoffs. It's essentially looking like the last spot is basically just coming down to Big Balls versus Dog Pound. Whoever wins that matchup is, I would say, 90% chance, 95% chance that's who's getting that last spot along with the Capone's V card. So, with that being said, let's talk about the cold plunge. So it's Tasty Boys Club versus Fear the Choge. That's it. And it just comes down to Fear the Choge needs to win, Tasty Boys Club needs to lose. In that situation, Tasty Boys Club cold plunge. Any other situation, Fear the Choge is plunging. Both lose, both win, it's Fear the Choge. Fear the Choge win, Tasty Boys Club loss, it's Tasty Boys Club. So that'll be interesting to watch those matchups. They both are playing some tough teams. So let's go over the Week 14 preview. We have the Dog Pound versus Big Balls, Tasty Boys Club versus Capone's V card, Swamp Dicks versus True Under Big Dog Story, Goblins versus Elmwood Lawyer, Fear the Choge versus Cambodians, Hurley and Chuck Sear versus Kelly and Wine Mixins. Pretty easy one to pick here for the matchup to watch, and that's Big Balls versus Dog Pound. It has the biggest implication. It's who's in, who's out. The drama will be big. The Dog Pound coming off 4 straight losses. Can Big Balls make it 5? That would be one of the biggest meltdowns we've seen by a team in league history. Essentially needing one more win out of 5 to clinch a spot, and they fumble all 5. So that's what we're working with. It's been a great season. We'll be doing one more. I'll be doing one more video next week. We don't do anything for the playoffs. So next week I'll just be wrapping up the season, looking at who's in the playoffs, and then doing a power rankings for the remaining playoff teams. So good luck to everybody this week, and we'll be back next week.